Let's be honest, the online coaching game has completely changed and it's only going in one direction. And I don't mean the boy band, but a few years ago, people trusted easier and faster. Sales calls converted easier and you could post, DM people and sell all in the same time. But now it's changed and people trust lower and slower than ever. Audiences are skeptical and coaches are tired of being pitched to. And actually, selling coaching feels harder than it ever has, and it should do. And it's not because you're a shit coach, it's simply because the way that people buy is different now. And if you don't adapt how you build trust, how you nurture, and how you guide people to the next step, then you're going to get left behind because the game has changed and the way that we need to be towards people has slightly changed its position. But if you don't adapt and change, you'll be left grinding even harder and getting even worse results. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to sell within your DMs, but most importantly, how to actually earn the right to be able to do that. And before you go any further, if you haven't already seen, and then don't forget to go backwards and watch this full series so you get to understand the exact model, the offer, the delivery, the content, and the lead generation system. In this series here, I'm on the sixth one right now, and it's been an absolute blast to build this, get momentum, and hear the feedback from everybody that's watched these series. And let's be honest, it's only going to land properly if you hit the full series so you know everything and how you can build the full growth engine. But let's get stuck into this to start with then. The first thing I want to go through here today is the real reason with DM closing. Now, most coaches are asking the wrong question because they're asking, how do I close in the DMs? But the real question is, what have I done to earn the right to be able to sell in the DMs? And look at that as me, but also yourself, because I have at the moment generated most of my business through DMs in the last 6 months, simply because I have this system in place. And just for the record as well, I'm not the type of person to say, stop doing sales calls and only work on selling in the DMs. But if you have this system in place and you work to this strategy and it works, why wouldn't you then continue that so that you can get people to sell or over the line faster, and you can then build your business, scale your business, and get the results for your clients? But if you are looking at selling in your DMs and you don't have the trust, or people don't understand what you do, and they don't see themselves within your content, and then you're going to struggle. And no script will save you. There are so many people that are pushing out different types of scripts with all this psychological pathways when actually people's trust is a lot different right now. People are a lot more skeptical and people want the real human. But if you're trying to fix weak content with better sales scripts, it's like pissing in the wind. And it may work sometimes, but let's be honest, it's exhausting and not sustainable for you and your business, both mentally and physically. But what actually allows selling in the DMs to work? So here's the truth, right? I don't sell in the DMs because I'm good at sales. It wasn't my initial thing that I was able to be, let's say, put my hand to, but I close in the DMs because my content is doing all the heavy lifting. People already understand the model and their beliefs have already shifted. And this is exactly what your content should be doing. And they're already warm before the conversation even starts. By the time somebody messages me, quite simply, they know who I am, they know how I work, and they know if it's right for them. And these three things are the most important things that you could get with your content. The DM is just confirmation, not persuasion. So again, if you're in your DMs and you're trying to constantly persuade people, or even on a sales call, you need to rewind backwards and think the journey that they've been on clearly wasn't clear enough and it wasn't the right journey for that person. Sales isn't all about pushing people to do something. It's about making them see the next best step for them, but they have to see the step. But here's the flywheel mindset. So within a flywheel and a funnel, the typical funnel, people come in, they come out the bottom, and let's be honest, if they buy, they buy. If they don't, they become just a dead lead at the bottom of that. But that's why the flywheel is completely different, because we work on the smart ad, the power community, the power video, the magnetic offer, and we get people into our world. And if they don't buy right now, then that's fine, because they're going to continue to see the content. And when they feel like the time is ready and the time is right for them, that's where they then come through. But this is where most coaches get impatient and screw things up, because if you're thinking of the sale all the time and you're constantly trying to get people to buy from you, you're missing so much of what's needed to happen for them to believe you, trust you, build a rapport with you, and shift their beliefs to see that it's the right thing for them. But here's what the data shows. Of around 100 people, 50% that will never buy from you. And that is completely fine. Again, so often people are trying to push people too much, wasting their time, wasting their energy, and then feel like business isn't working. Well, actually, you're putting your attention into the wrong thing. We've then got 15% that may buy soon. When that is, you don't know, but it's most likely going to be the low hanging fruit. And then you've got 35% that might take 90 days to 2 years to actually buy from you. And again, this is fine. If you are building a flywheel, they will come through at some point. I love the moment when it happens, but quite often when somebody joins me, I look back on where they've been and how long they've been in my flywheel, and they've been there a long time. And it just proves every single time that this stuff works. But then we have the rule of 7-11-4. People need on average 7 hours, 11 touch points over 4 different platforms. Again, to buy from you. So how are you going to get this to work is the question. And that is why we do a flywheel instead of a funnel, because again, a funnel, they will drop straight to the bottom and that is the end of their journey. Whereas a flywheel, they'll continue going round. So your job isn't to rush people. Read that again. Your job isn't to rush people. And this is something that so many coaches need to know and hear and trust the process. But your job is to stay visible, to stay consistent, and to be there when the time is right. Now, look, I've been there and I've helped hundreds of coaches do the same thing. It is a hard thing at points because you're eager, you're looking for the sale, you want to grow your business. And also, let's not kill the elephant in the room, right? Or let's kill the elephant in the room. But you're putting in so much fucking work and you're thinking, when is this going to repay me? I get it. Again, I've been there, but this is the whole point of the compound effect. And if you take your eyes off the ball and you don't focus on these 3 things here, then you may as well not be in business because it is never going to compound and you're never going to get to that point where it tips over and you start winning. So here is the exact flow in motion of the growth engine. So first things first, we've got the short form content, which is through the GAP framework. If you haven't already seen it, then you've been living under a rock. Go back on the other videos and you'll see exactly what that is. It's growth, authority, and personal, and I break down exactly how to do that. But the whole point of this is we attract and shift beliefs. So think about that. We want to attract the right people by saying the right thing to the right person. And then we want to shift their beliefs to start to see what you do and why you do it. And this is one of the most important things within content, is showing why as opposed to just the how. Then we've got ManyChat triggers, which are a way of allowing your leads to flow naturally. We have triggers that they comment a word or DM a word, and then it will take them through a process. It will get them into your world. It will get their email address. It will get them into your school or lead magnet or whatever it may be. And you're bringing them slightly closer. And then that's where the lead magnet comes in. This is such a simple process and something that many people use. But the question is, are you using it right? And are you using it at the right time? Most people will skip the lead magnet part and just go straight for the sale. Then secondly, we have the long form YouTube content. So this quite simply is to build depth, is to build trust, and to build authority. These are the 3 things that you want to be focusing on within your content that you're putting out. Just like this, it's value content where we're building depth. You're getting to understand me. You're getting to see exactly why I do what I do, and also see how I've done it with other people. And if you can start to get onto YouTube as soon as possible, it is another way of hitting that 7-11-4 throughout that rule. Then we've got the free Skool community. So this is an area that I personally use, and I advise anybody to do that because I feel like it's the best place right now for that type of thing to get people in, nurture. It's an easy system and it's super simple to build. But the whole idea here is to nurture people. You've got all your resources and you've got your proof. And then the next stage within your community, being your email and within your Skool community, we have the behind the curtain offers. So these can be like the low ticket stuff, 50 to £100, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. The whole idea here is the small paid trust step. So we want people to take that step to show that they trust you and that you can see that they're going to take the leap of paying. Because when people buy off you, it is the opening to the door. It means that they will most likely buy more. They are just testing you out and testing the water. but it's who's serious will show themselves. And at this point, then you know exactly who to put the more information in front of and to try and guide them to that next step. And then you've got your main offer. Mine is the shift. And within this process, we have something that I help all my clients build, which is an offer document. Now, there's lots of different ways to get somebody from a customer, let's say, that's bought a behind the curtains offer to a paying client. Now, yes, you can do calls, you can do webinars, you can do lots of different things, but ultimately we want to send them to one place. And that's what I help people build, which is an offer document. It's a live document. I can change at any point, and it answers every single possible question so that you don't have to get on a sales call and they're there to make that payment. They pay, and then they have the auto onboard phase where every single client of mine, as soon as they've paid, it's automatically on board, it's put onto my system, they get access to everything, they start the first thing, they watch the video, and I don't talk to them until the first call that they have once they've watched level 0. And that's ultimately like the onboarding stuff. Because let's be honest, you don't need to talk to people before you actually need to start to coach them. And doing this system, quite simply, it's no pressure, no chasing, and no cold DMs, because I don't think you set your business up to be doing cold DMs. I definitely didn't. And it's not something that I've actually done, but it's painful enough messaging people that, let's say, are colder other than complete cold strangers. And that's obviously a system that a lot of people do, but I really don't like that thing. So why behind the curtain offers are so powerful? Behind the curtain offers, quite simply, are the biggest way to unlock your trust towards somebody and to see them pay you, to know that you can then put more effort into them. When people pay, even a small amount, they pay attention differently, and it's putting your neck on the line, right? When they are putting their neck on the line, they then show up better. We all do that. It's quite a human thing to do. But with the behind the curtain offers, it's about filtering out all the time wasters. It's about showing you who's actually ready and warm people up again. Because sometimes people may come into your community, onto your email list, they're there, but they're not 100% invested. And actually, behind the curtains offer, invite people through to a webinar where you give them tons of value. It's a low price thing. You've made money, and you've then found the people that, one, want to pay, and two, most likely will go further with you if you then talk to them afterwards. And I've done this recently, just after Black Friday. I took one section of my main program, I put it in a behind the curtains small paid gateway, and generated $950 extra last month. And doing this, the only thing I had to do different was to do the introduction video, because the rest of the stuff was the same that I teach inside my main program. And it's just selling what already exists. And this is the key to it, because a lot of people are thinking they need to do new frameworks, new things, and new flashy, shiny objects. But that isn't true, right? If you know who your audience is, and you know what they want, and you know how to fix what they want to fix, then you just say the same stuff that you say in your main program, because that is the answer. But behind the curtains offers turn into customers, and customers turn into buyers. And that's how you get them through that process. So who I actually sell to in the DMs. Now, I want to make this clear to you and for you, because I don't sell to everybody. But I've also been through a stage in the past where I've tried to sell to everybody. But I look for 4 to 5 star prospects. And the reason I do this is because it's like a filter that I form at the start before, let's be honest, wasting my time with people that are not ready to move forward. Because again, it is not fun to twist somebody's arm to do something when it's for them and you're trying to push them. It's never a good vibe to be in. But the 4 to 5 star prospects are highly engaging in conversation, they're responsive, and they know what they want, but they probably just don't know how to get there. And that's the whole idea why they're speaking to you, right? And they're open to clarity, as in to see exactly the next steps and what you're willing to help them with. They want help, and they accept the ups and the downs. Now, this is like I say, a filter system that I take people through by asking them various questions within the DMs. But timing decides the difference. And this is, again, something that's really important to understand. 5-star people are ready to go now. They are the ultimate. They know what they want. They've reached you. They maybe found you, or they've come across you, whatever it is, but they're ready to buy because they were looking for someone to work with anyway. And then we've got the 4-star. Ultimately, with these, the time will come. And that is exactly the whole idea of the growth engine, because everyone that's within these categories will buy at some point. It's just a matter of when. but the 4-star drop down and everyone else that you don't sell to right now just goes back into the nurture point. And that's, again, exactly what happens within the growth engine. So how I start conversations. Now, here's a word of warning for you. Any mentor that you see saying that they're going to give you the next best script, sure, you can get the idea. It is not going to change the way that you sell because, again, I can't stress this enough. If you are looking for the next best psychological persuasion tactic by the FBI, it's not the thing that you need. You need to think of everything before that. If you are having to twist somebody's arm so much on a sales call or on DMs or whatever it is, they are not ready. One, you're wasting your time. Two, you're probably putting them off you anyway because you're going to start getting desperate and all crazy, like some ex that wants you back. But I'll be honest, I've been there, and it's not big, it's not clever, and most importantly, it's not personal or fun. This is not how you run a business. And the coaches that say the industry's screwed or the mentoring space is telling you wrong stuff, whatever it may be, whatever the excuses that people make up for the reason that they can't be successful in their business, well, it's because you're not making things personal. And if you're not having fun building your business, then you're not really in a business. You're trapped in a prison. And that is all down to yourself because of how you see things. So ways to start conversations then. Now, there is a new feature on ManyChat where it will automatically message your followers. I'll be honest, I've been testing this out for a while. I've changed mine a few times. First of all, if you don't know what that is, then go back on the videos to watch because I explain exactly what it is. But for the guys who do know what that is, think about this. If you are sending somebody straight to something to buy or straight to a sales call or something that is getting them to jump that trust leap or leap that trust barrier, if you like, think about the thing that they will be thinking because most of the time they'll be thinking you're trying to sell something to me. So what I advise here is soften that way you speak to them and think about how you actually start the conversations. But if you are not using ManyChat, or even if you are, every time you get a new follower, just message them something nice and simple. Be human and make it genuine rather than diving down their throat and trying to sell them something. It could be comments that you get on your posts. How many people are you actually responding to on the comments and also DMing? If people comment on your wall, on your post, whatever, then they're showing that they want to connect with you. If you are not then connecting back with them, then you're missing a trick. Poll replies, put polls up on your story. Anybody that engages with it, that's them telling you they want to engage. Again, DM them. Content, call to actions. Make sure you put call to actions on all of your posts that you put out. Email replies. Tell people on emails to reply to you or go and do this or go and watch that, whatever it may be. Then you've got school joins. So people who join your school. If you haven't already set something up like that, I highly recommend that you do because you want a place where you can, first of all, give all of your paid clients the resources that they need and the frameworks and the coaching methods, but also to give free resources and lead magnets to the guys that are not yet in your paid membership. The opening message wants to be human and simple. Test this out. Do different scenarios and see who talks to you. But also, if somebody messages you, analyze that. See how they approach you because you can always learn things from people. But the key is here, no pitching. Because look, nobody wants to follow somebody because they like the look of something and then be pitched to and trying to get them straight into something before they've even warmed them up. But then I move through this, and this is a really key process to take people through so that you can really get them into the right place and they feel, let's say, not sold to, not pitched to, and they feel warm with you. But you want to connect first. So you want to connect with them. Say something that you can see on their story or on their posts that you know that is going to be connecting for them. Be real, be human. I did a competition the other day. How did you get on with it? Whatever it may be. Make it simple, but connect with them. And then you want to discover. So you've got to try and discover where they are in their journey, like why they're there. A great question to ask often is, are you here for anything specific or are you here just for the good vibes? And then you want to clarify the gap. So when they tell you about their journey, their position and what they're missing, then clarify it for them. Relay it to them so that they know you understand, but also they can see that connection and that you're listening. And then ask if they want help. Why don't you ask? Most people will say, I just don't feel like it's the right time. But actually, if you've connected with them, if you've discovered something, if you've clarified the gap, like what's the problem with just going, do you want me to help you with that? Or is it not something that you're looking to fix right now? If yes, and then you send them to an offer doc, they pay, auto onboard, they're a client. If no, put them on a hot list. This is something that I get all my guys to do. We have a spreadsheet that you visit every single day. You spend half an hour looking at a hot list. You move people to the next stage. You chat with them. You continue to nurture them and ultimately get them into your world. And then you follow up with these people later because look, they're connected with you and they're still within your circle. They still most likely want to be a part of your team eventually. It's just that it now isn't the right time for them. And look, why this feels so easy? Because content has shifted the beliefs. And again, I want you to really understand the process here. If you put out content that shifts beliefs to get people to see why you do what you do and how you can help them and why you help the type of person that you do, it shows that you are the expert and it helps shift their beliefs to understand that this is the right person for me. And it gives them that like aha moment, if you like, to be like, I didn't think about that. Again, with your content, make sure you're putting things out there that isn't the plain stuff that you see online, but actually it's stuff that you have established and realized with yourself and your clients. Then we've got the long form to build trust. This is, again, to get 7 hours worth of content to people so they can binge your content, they can connect with you, they can get lots of value, and they can start to trust you from seeing how you work with people and the testimonials, etc., that you can also show. You've then got behind the curtains that has pre-qualified people, and then we've got systems to handle the admin. And when you have this flow in place, it will feel easy. And you will have a process and a system that you will approach every single day, and the DM will just feel like the final step. No desperation, no pressure, and no sleazy movements within the DMs. So if you're looking at this model and thinking like, who is this model for? Like, where do I need to be able to implement this? Now, this works if you are an online or hybrid coach, somebody that has an established business, whether you do it fully online right now or whether you do it half online, half in person, or you may just do it in person, but you deliver some online stuff. Willing to put the reps in, because look, if you are not willing to build your business, then very directly I will say I don't even know why you're in business, because it isn't easy to be self-employed and it is not easy to be an entrepreneur and run your own business. But if you are ready to put the reps in, then this will work for you. People who are ready to build systems, because look, systems speed things up. Systems buy back your time. Systems are the gateway to most success criterias to be able to scale your business. And without systems, I wouldn't be able to do half the stuff that I do, and it would take me twice the amount of time. And also people that are playing the long game, because again, if you're wanting to do something like this to get quick easy wins and sales, then you're not going to be able to build the momentum and compound the effect to actually build a flywheel like this. But it doesn't work if you want things done for you. If you're the type of person that wants everything done for you, and well, you may as well go and join an agency that will guarantee you 10 clients every single week and all the crap that they come out with. You refuse to create content. If you're an online coach, that is your front shop window. And the more you show up online, the more you'll be seen. The more your content is specifically for the right person, the more you'll be seen and connected with the right people. But also, if you think that sales scripts fix everything, yes, I've got a bit of a thing about sales scripts, as you can tell. But sales scripts are not the thing that is going to get you through this. Closing in your DMs do not need sales scripts. And you won't commit to consistency. Now, here's the harsh truth, right? If you're an online strength and fitness coach, you have consistency within you because of where you are and where you got to. So when it comes to business, why is that not exactly the same? It's a great question, but I think that most of the time it's because that knowledge gap is in between. And that's where we can come in and help. But if you want to start building your business properly, then we've got the content strength system, the growth engine, behind the curtains offers, DM flow, delivery systems, magnetic offer, all of this stuff inside my Skool community. So this is it, and these are the different ones. And in there, you'll find all the different stuff that you can work on. You can implement it into your business. And once you're in there, if the time is right, and then we will talk. However, if you are like, no, I'm here because I want to watch this and actually start working with you, and then quite simply DM me 69 on Instagram, and I'll ask you a couple of questions to pre-qualify you and make sure you're the right person. And then we can start to look towards where we can go here. Look, so selling in the DMs isn't some magic trick. It's actually the reward to building trust, showing up all the time, doing the reps and being consistent, and also playing the long game. Because look, if you're in business, we're not here for a matter of months, we're here for years, right? You want to build your business big, you want to live the life that you desire, and you also want to help people. So why aren't you in it for the long game if not? And if you don't adapt to these things, then you're going to find yourself tripping over on every single hurdle. So look, this is the last one of the Growth Engine series, and it's been an absolute blast to be going through this for you guys. I hope you got massive amount of value and understanding of where to take your business. If you want to work with me, go to Instagram, DM me the number 69, and I'll send you the information. If not, I'll see you again soon. And if you haven't already, for fuck's sake, press that subscribe button. I'll catch you in a bit. Peace.